We're here with the legendary Neal Adams.
Right, Regis filled in, right?
And Mr. Adams, our
You called me
fans?
Mr. Adams, folks. Just want you to know
Okay.
that.
Neal. May I call you Neal?
Yes.
All right. Neal, the Superman homepage wants to know about Arrival of the Superman, or Arrival of the Superman.
Superman, yes.
Yes.
Well, they're coming to Earth to help Superman out.
Okay.
Because naturally he needs help, because he's the most powerful creature in the universe.
Makes sense.
Apparently, but obviously he needs help. I don't really think they're coming to do that. I think they're coming because their planet, New Krypton, is in trouble.
Oh.
From Darkseid and Apocalypse. I assume Apocalypse means a pot of lips. I don't know what that means. And even though they are kind of Superman, they're a little weak and less strong than Superman because they've been suffering under this red sun move for a long time in the Bottle City. Anyway, the problem is that Apocalypse is not just, they're not really super, they're pretty powerful, but they're also, you know, nasty. And you can be Superman and all, but these nasty guys come at you, and you got demons, dogs, and all kinds of creatures and stuff.
Okay.
So they really sort of need Superman's help. Now, I shouldn't be telling you this because I'm giving away the story, but I really don't give a crap. So the way they're going to get his help is they're going to, like, take his place and have him go help New Krypton. I'm not going to tell you where it is, but it's, if you read all the geek stuff, you'll find out and figure it out. Anyway, so he's got, and now the problem is that he's doing this, but Darkseid is hanging around, and he's got another planet. And he wants to take over that planet that the New Krypton is on. He doesn't want part of it, he wants all of it.
Oh.
Which is the way of Darkseid. And so he's getting the help of Luthor, who has always cannily got subplots upon subplots. So we find there's a conflict between Darkseid and Luthor, even though they're sort of helping each other, but not. We run into Orion, we run into Mr. Miracle, we run into Barda, we run into all those guys. Basically what it is me trying not to screw up Jack Kirby's New Gods.
Oh, okay.
Because so many people have screwed him up, I'm thinking, I'll probably mess it up. But in my process of trying not to mess it up, I may make a few points with fans and readers everywhere and try to keep as much of that Jack Kirby New Gods as possible.
Now, will the project be in continuity, or will it be a standalone?
No, it's a DC. Well, I don't know how DC is going to treat it. We've sort of made an agreement with DC Comics that I'm not supposed to talk about.
Oh.
Between DC Comics and myself, that we love each other. Again.
Okay.
As we did in the past.
Yeah.
Why they ever thought I might not love them, I have no idea. Because I've always loved DC Comics and Marvel Comics. But you know, I'm one of those outriders. You never know what he's going to do. Could be causing trouble. Never do, but the only trouble I ever cause makes money for DC Comics. So we're going to be treating this a lot more seriously and with more publicity than Batman Odyssey, which was basically ignored almost completely by DC Comics. Which is a bad thing because people ought to be reading Batman Odyssey now because it is one of the first and only comic book books. It's a book done in comic book format. Those people who've read it, cover to cover, come and tell me how wonderful it is. Those people who haven't, do that funny little questioning mark that covers their face when I ask them if they read it or did they just read all the jerks on the internet who criticized it.
Okay, I'll have to admit I didn't read either one, but I'm going to read it when I purchase it in a few minutes.
I'll tell you why you have to read it. And I'll show you why you have to read it. Okay, and you can tell me whether or not this. I'm just going to show you one spread near the end.
Okay.
And you're going to tell me if this is going to make you read this book. And you're going to go and quietly to yourself, you'll say, "I'll tell Neal, yes, it's going to make me read this book, but I may be bullshitting." But when Neal shows you this, you will say, "I will read the book." Okay?
I'm going to turn the camera away.
No, turn the camera away.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm going to read this book. Yeah, I'm going to read this book. I'm going to read this book.
You're going to read that book.
Okay, Batman Odyssey.
Okay.
Even though this is the Superman homepage, that's okay.
That's right. And that is the sensei, that is Batman, that is a gun. That is really happening.
Oh, wow.
On the other hand, Neal would never betray Batman and let him shoot anybody.
Yeah.
So there seems to be a contradiction here.
Oh, wow.
And in order to find out what the contradiction is and how it resolves itself, you may all have to read this book.
Oh, all right.
And after that, you'll read Superman and the Coming of the Superman.
Okay. So, let me ask you, even though you can't reveal if it's in continuity or not.
Oh, it's in continuity. It's not out of continuity.
So it's part of the New 52?
No, it's not out of continuity.
Okay.
How can you say it's in continuity? You know what continuity means? It's not. Joe doesn't jump off a cliff and then land at the bottom of the cliff in the next issue, if that's what you're asking. Okay. Is it part of the continuity? Well, it's part of what's happening with Superman. So it's within continuity, but it's not in specifically a continuity.
Okay.
It's like if Action and Detective, or Detective and Batman. It's another book, which they're all in continuity.
Yeah. But
they're not in specific continuity with that Action, that detective work. You understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's not out of continuity. Nor, in fact, is Batman out of continuity.
Okay.
If you read it carefully. Oh, well, read it carefully. We in comics, we don't do that.
Okay. All right. What do you think about the New 52 and
You're kidding, right?
Okay.
No, you're bullshitting me. Come on. It's a gimmick. They tried it. Why did they lose 20 titles? Now they have to reboot them again. What are they trying to do? Well, they're trying to come up with new titles that they can make movies out of, right? Mm-hmm. Isn't that the idea?
Yeah.
Because they only really have 4 characters: Superman,
Batman, Wonder Woman,
and who else? Who's the 4th?
Yeah.
Green Lantern, Green Arrow kind of combination. Flash. That's their first tier of titles, and then within that tier, there's a kind of there's lowballing going on. And then what's their second tier of titles?
Shazam, Captain Marvel type stuff. Yeah.
Shazam. Excuse me. You should have tried to say a second one. There wasn't one there. It was Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Shazam is Captain Marvel.
Well, I was saying the same thing.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Depending on.
And of course, Marvel took the Captain Marvel title away from them, so they can't put it on a book, which sucks. And Marvel ought to give it up. Shouldn't they give up Captain Marvel so it goes back to DC Comics and becomes attached to Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. What kind of a bitchy thing is that to do? Come right down to it. It's bitchy,
Yeah.
Leave it alone, turn it over, and that's the end of it. Let DC do you a favor one day. Allow you to have half your characters in the same costume as Batman and Deadman.
Yeah.
Let me see. What ones are those?
I
think there's a Kung Fu guy that kind of looks like Batman and Deadman's costume combined, right? Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, be nice to each other. Just cut this out. I want to see Captain Marvel at DC Comics with Captain Marvel as a title.
Awesome.
About time.
About time. Thank you so much, Mr. Adams. Or Neal, I'm sorry. Won't happen again.
It's a pleasure. Okay. Bye-bye.